Today's guest is the host of the weekly Twitter Spaces show called NFT Time, powered by Ghosteen Media. She is also an NFT brand and marketing consultant, and she holds a free NFT Teach Class 101 on Zoom that helps onboard new people into the space. She's a content creator for blockchain and NFT-based businesses and a conference MC. Some even know her as the goddess of South Beach. She is South Florida based, and she is a lover of all things NFTs. Welcome to GRE, Bianca Starr.
Hi, so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you here. Bianca, you're in such a surging space. NFT sales were $95 million total in 2020, and it was $25 billion of sales last year in 2021. That's over 250x growth. And, you know, I still think a lot of people don't know what NFTs are. So when someone asks you what is an NFT at its basic level, what do you tell them?
The tokenization, the digitization, the receipt form of a unique asset that lives on a blockchain. It's really important to understand what blockchain is, and I'll be very brief about that. But blockchain in which an NFT exists on is a decentralized, distributed, immutable digital ledger. In general, what blockchain is a collection of transactions that exist. And so on top of blockchain, this technology, there is something called an NFT, which ultimately, in the easiest way to understand it, is the tokenization of digital assets.
A non-fungible token, yep. Fungible meaning replaceable. So therefore, a non-replaceable token, meaning it's unique or it's one of one.
Yep.
And now I think some early critics of NFTs or people that didn't really understand them said, you know, how is there really any value attached to this digital image, if you will? And why can't you just right click and copy and paste it? You know, so coming back to its uniqueness, you know, why is it a one of one, and what keeps it from being able to be copied, if you will?
The fact that it lives in code. So a non-fungible token, an NFT, is a product of something called a smart contract. And smart contracts live on the blockchain, on this digital ledger, this collection of all the transactions that happen. And what a smart contract is exactly what it sounds like, right? It's a contract that is powered by code. So when X happens and Y happens, automatically there's a product, and that product is a non-fungible token, an NFT, or the tokenization of a digital asset. And so it's important to understand all of these concepts. And as an educator, as someone who teaches, I think it's really important to understand the underlying vocab behind it all. And so to have a broader understanding of NFTs, it's really important to understand what blockchain is, at least in an essence. It's important to understand what smart contracts are, which is easy to wrap your mind around, a contract that is powered by code. And then it's important to understand what NFTs are and why they're valuable is the nature of the technology, right? So it's allowing you to say that this thing that I have, be it a digital image or be it a piece of digital land, is a unique asset, right? And I, being that it's on the blockchain and has an open source ledger, a transaction that I can look up, it showcases who has ownership. So it's a way to track ownership of assets online. I
think to make it more tangible for people, why don't we talk about some of the forms of NFTs that are popular? Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people think about art, first of all.
Just like the Renaissance, everything, I believe, begins with art because it's easier to understand and it's easier to appreciate. So, of course, the surgence of art being attached to a technology that says it's a unique one of one, there's only one like it, it showcases who owns it. But there's so many other applications of NFTs that are being utilized. You have companies coming in and thinking about, oh, could there be something like a redeemable NFT where I give a event goer an NFT form of maybe a ticket to a concert, where now I can track when that person has come to my events in the past. You know, I know their wallet address. It's on an open source blockchain where I can see the transactions. So I could see, oh, they've come to multiple events. Maybe I should give them something for free. Maybe I should nurture the community. So there's applications like concert tickets. There's applications like art. There's applications like real estate. I mean, you're a real estate podcast. So it's interesting to hear and to see that real estate transactions are being done via blockchain through NFTs.
Yeah. Now, Bianca, say that I wanted to own an NFT. Where would I even begin? Whether that's the marketplace where I go buy the NFT, and how would I fund that, and so on? Where would I begin if I wanted one?
Yes. So it all begins with you having to be able to, you need a digital wallet. There are two types of digital wallets. I'm a words girl, so I'm going to tell you the two types. There's custodial and non-custodial. Non-custodial means that you own the private keys. Private keys meaning that it's like the key to your bank vault. So usually it comes in 12 words. It's the key to your bank vault. It says that you have true and full ownership of this wallet. Now there's a custodial wallet where you can trust the keys to your bank vault to someone else. And similar to like a bank account, you're doing that. So there's two types of digital wallets. So you need a digital wallet to hold your currency. Then you need to purchase and buy the currency. Coinbase is a very easy to use, very user interface, very friendly to navigate. And so you need to buy a token, the token of the particular blockchain that you're going to purchase the NFT on. Ethereum is the most popular blockchain. So buying Ether on Coinbase, you need to buy that Ether on Coinbase. You need to send it to your digital wallet. And then you can go to a marketplace. The most popular marketplace right now is OpenSea. It has a $13.3 billion valuation. You can go to there, you connect your digital wallet that has your digital currency inside. Then you go, you surf, and you see what you like. And then ultimately, it's as easy as clicking a button, and it's very intuitive. But understand that you do have to pay these things called gas fees that can be quite surprising.
Yeah, what are gas fees?
Yeah, so the nature of blockchain is powered in a distributed way. You know, it's a decentralized distributed digital ledger. So in the distribution of the ledger, the nature of how it's set up, you have to pay for the people who are hosting these nodes that lift up this thing called the blockchain. And to not get too technical, because I can kind of get nerdy and technical, but to not get too technical, you have to pay someone for the effort that they're putting in. And in order to host these nodes, it costs electricity, it costs the cost of the hardware. And so gas fees are your contribution to people continuing to build and host the blockchain through its distributed digital nature. Mm-hmm. And because of supply and demand, when the blockchain is very popular, the cost of gas goes up, meaning that there's a lot of people on it, a lot of people competing to use the resources. And so the prices can go up. Certain prices when you're surfing through OpenSea and maybe you want to buy an NFT that's like $100, sometimes your gas fees can be like $300. So you got to make sure you watch out on that.
Okay, so that's paying for the infrastructure. And then if I'm looking to buy an NFT, you gave us some good resources there. How do I know that I'm not getting ripped off? Or are those resources that you shared with us enough to know that we're not getting ripped off? Or what other things can we look out for?
That's a fun and quite loaded question. Because of the newness and because of how new this technology is, there's plenty of mistakes being made. And so as a participant in the early market, as a participant in buying these early NFTs, you're potentially not buying exactly what you're being promised because people are still building the technology. So there's value in participating in something early, but how do you make sure that what you are buying has the value that it's promised? One thing, you can use reputable marketplaces like OpenSea. You can do your due diligence. Most of the NFT projects should have a Twitter page. That's where NFT lives. That is like where the community has grown organically, is through Twitter. So making sure you check the Twitter and that it's relevant. Making sure that just that if you're not connected to the community, you find someone who is, to do your due diligence and to do your research.
Okay, yeah, that's great. The value in belonging to a community there. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and put a like on this. If you like learning the basics about NFTs, a new and surging space. And hey, if you don't think that I deserve the like, at least you can leave the like for Bianca, then do it for her. And you can learn more about her on Twitter. Her Twitter handle is Bianca Star, BIJANCASTAR. Bianca, let's talk more about what makes an NFT valuable. Like why, for example, would one NFT be more valuable than another? Like I'm familiar with Bored Ape NFTs, even though I'm not in the space, just because I see them out there. They're sort of these illustrations of apes with these funny faces and costumes. So that seems like it's something pretty popular, but is it all about popularity? What does make one NFT more valuable than another?
So the beauty, we can focus on Bored Apes, because the beauty of Bored Ape Yacht Club is tenfold. But let's begin with saying that they were one of the primary NFT collections projects that ever came to be. So that gives it inherent value being first.
Okay.
Second is, one thing that they did so beautifully is they have a really well done and well thought out smart contract. Remember, smart contract is the thing that X equals Y written in code equals an NFT. So they have a really well done smart contract. But third, and something that people don't often understand or know, is that they allowed the holders of their NFT to have IP rights, IP meaning intellectual property. So the value of this project, grew tenfold, going from a mint price of 0.08 ETH, or roughly like $180, give or take, to now, I haven't checked today, but the floor price, AKA the price to even participate at its lowest market price of the Bored Ape Yacht Club, is around 85 ETH, or about $230,000, wow. Right? So it's gone up incredibly. But what that has allowed, imagine, right? You're a part of a collection and a community of people at the forefront of a new burgeoning technology. And additionally, you have the IP rights connected to this JPEG that you own, meaning that, hey, I want to start a coffee company. I can put my Bored Ape on as a marketing material for my coffee company. Everyone knows about Bored Apes. To even get one, you have to spend $200,000+. And now my coffee company is recognized through the brand recognition of an already established NFT project, giving not only my company a boost, but the people who believe in my company, feeding it back into the original NFT project's boost. So it's just it's a beautiful way in which to build the community members in multiple ways, as well as being a social club. I mean, you have celebrities that are a part of it. You have access to people at the top of their game, right?
Yeah. So, thinking about maybe a social club aspect of it, if that's important to someone, are there ways that people can display their NFTs? For example, I know baseball card collectors have these online registries where they can display their cards and get rankings. Is that part of this? Is displaying these like a thing?
Yeah. I mean, I have my NFTs as my screensaver on my phone, which is very common. People use it as their profile pictures on Twitter, on Instagram, which I do. But beyond that, there are at the conference in which I was an MC called Decentral during Art Basel last year, there were several digital screens where you could connect your NFT and showcase them on the walls. So it's just a new way. If you buy art-based NFTs, it's a new way to show off your art in a digital fashion. And we're a digital world. We're moving to more digital interactions. And so it makes sense. Why not have a lively and digital way to display your art?
Could I take a piece of art that's on the wall of my home, or could I take a vintage baseball card and turn that into an NFT myself if I wanted to approach it that way? And then how would I go about doing something like that?
Of course, anything, it's beautiful, because if we remember in the beginning of our conversation, what I mentioned in NFT is it's just the tokenization of a digital asset. Tokenization, meaning that you put it on the blockchain, meaning that it's a receipt that has a unique code underneath it, unlike anything else. So if I have a tokenization of a digital asset, an asset meaning something that holds value, that could be anything, because value is subjective, right? So in order to create your own NFTs, you can do it twofold. You can go through traditional marketplaces like OpenSea, and they have already preset smart contracts where you can create your own collections utilizing their already created technology. That's one route. It's a simpler route. Or you can go the more challenging route. You can either be a developer yourself or hire a developer to write you smart contracts and to be able to create those NFTs yourself through this technology.
Yeah. And, we're talking to an audience of real estate investors here. I'm just thinking more about tokenizing real estate, if that would ever be a viable thing. I know that last month, a 70-year-old brick home near St. Petersburg, Florida, made a lot of news. It sold for the equivalent of $654,000 as an NFT. Can you tell us any more about NFT applications in real estate? Because Bianca, it really makes us think about some things here in the real estate world. Like, could you ever get a loan for that? Would a lender ever underwrite something like that? So, what do you see in the NFT real estate world?
Yeah, so the company that did this transaction via blockchain through an NFT is called Proppy. That is actually the second. They did their first transaction in 2017 out of state. So they're well versed in how to do this and in the technology underlying it. I actually met the woman who is the CEO and founder of the company. She's wonderful, very smart, and the applications in real estate is that you're, like I just said, you're tokenizing you're just putting something on a blockchain, on a software that you consider to be an asset. So utilizing deeds and moving them in a trackable nature along the blockchain is not only a way to have more clarity and ease and potentially get rid of antiquated systems like title companies,
right?
But it also just is a more transparent and easy to use mechanism. And so just thinking of any kind of systems in real estate that seem maybe outdated, that take too long. I used to work in a title company. I remember going downstairs and looking through all the files, the paper files, when any of the closers needed something. And it's like, hey, we're in a digital world. Why can't we have digital mechanisms for all of this and make it make more sense and make it swifter and easier to track and trace? And that's what the applications in real estate are. Now, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not, I don't have a full legal understanding of how that looks and how that can be applied in those contexts. But this real estate transaction on the blockchain via NFTs was a legal transaction. And she has found a way, the company Proppy has found a way to utilize the mechanisms of real estate through NFTs. And that's only going to continue to innovate and change as we continue to understand and find new applications for this technology.
Real estate is so old and slow. Watch. I bet real estate will be one of the last sectors to ever get on the blockchain. They're pretty slow to come around to things. And, thinking about real estate, Bianca, and the investment angle, I think about whether one could ever really rent out their NFT or have their NFT create an income stream somehow, like we do with rental property and real estate. I know people that own Bitcoin might store it on BlockFi or the Celsius network or one of these crypto banks and create an income stream that way. Is there any income stream potential with NFTs?
Yeah, so there's a lot of talk happening, a lot of DeFi or decentralized finance companies coming up with new and innovative ways that you can be liquid with your NFTs, because that's one of the challenges is they're an illiquid asset. And so a couple of things that are going through the pipeline right now are, one, being able to get a loan based on the value of your NFT. So, placing your NFT in the hands of some hopefully competent company, and then getting a loan based on crypto back, and being able to then use that money that way. Another one is being able to fractionalize these NFTs. So taking these NFTs apart, distributed them amongst many people, and then getting a return through the value of the fractionalization going up over time. And then also being able to, there's a thing called staking. So being able to stake, aka to hold your NFT on a platform and then be given a token or a different kind of coin back by allowing them to utilize the NFT in whatever way they see fit or have calculated that to make sense for their business model.
So if you're more interested in learning more about NFTs, Bianca let us know that the community is on Twitter. But Bianca, if someone wants to connect with you and all the good resources that you offer people, including helping beginners, what is the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, of course. Follow me on Twitter, BIJANCA, Sneaky J, STAR, Bianca Star on Twitter. You can email me at the same name, biancastar@gmail. Finding and following me through all of the various things I do with Ghosting Media, and taking my NFT 101 course where I introduce you to these concepts, because ultimately, and even I know that this conversation can have really dense concepts, could be kind of challenging to wrap your mind around. And I totally understand that. And I totally get that. But one, I want to say that having access to this information and even digesting it to the smallest degree is going to put you ahead of the masses, because ultimately I truly and very much believe that blockchain technology is going to power this world, and understanding the tokenization of digital assets, right, is going to give you a leg up when you want to utilize these new technologies in your business, which will be vital, in my opinion, in the next 5 years. So even if you don't fully comprehend all of this, it's really important to just get your mind turning on what these technologies can do and how you yourself and your business could be a part of it as it continues to unfold and innovate.
If nothing else, now you, the viewer and listener, might at least know a better question to ask about NFTs. Bianca, this has surely been educational. Thanks so much for coming onto the show.